I love it. That's awesome. It's so many things to pick out of like both of those introductions. The one thing that I wanted to ask you is how did you guys end up? How did you, Matt, end up connecting with Ben and talking him into
Oh
the
God.
whole Octane? And did you guys start off as Octane.ai, or was that something that was revamped at the time, you guys?
Before Matt starts, I'm just going to say my idea was great. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so Ben and I met because we were in a private community made by like a top Facebook engineer, and this was back in like 2005 or something. And Ben had posted something in this forum that was an absolute horrible idea.
Great.
So Ben does not know what he's talking about. And so the Ben and I met because I had to explain to him how horrible his idea was. He wanted to start some sort of like online. I was probably like 17 or something. I don't know, Ben, a couple years older than me. And he wanted to start like a blog, like a community blog. I was like, this is a horrible idea. And so I started a competing one, and we competed for a bit. Turns out they were actually both horrible ideas. But we didn't know each other in person. It was just through this like private community that this like really early Facebook engineer had created. And then I moved out to Silicon Valley a couple of years later, and was still, talking with Ben, had never met in person, but still friends. The equivalent of maybe how you would be Twitter friends with someone now, but we didn't have Twitter back then. And then I was moving to a new place. We had an opening for roommate. Ben had been trying to move into Silicon Valley, and he had landed a job at Mashable. And so the first time I met Ben was when it was him and his mom basically arriving in Ben's truck in Mountain View. And in the Valley. And yeah, we've been, best friends ever since then. And, we didn't really get a chance to work on anything together really for a while, but with Octane.ai, Ben's like very well known within the industry because he does all these speeches. He worked at Mashable. If you wanted to get coverage on Mashable, like Ben was a person to go to. Ben's at all the, all the parties, he knows everybody. And he's known a lot of people before they even start their company. And so you can't just get Ben as a co-founder on your company.
Right.
You can't there's no straightforward way to do it. If you're like, Ben, do you want to be a co-founder? It's just not the right approach. And so I took the opposite approach, and I said, Ben, I have a genius idea. And Ben is usually, picking up the phone or whatever, listening to me say something like that. And I tell him the idea, and he's like, yeah, it's interesting. I was like, yeah, I'm going to raise some money for this. And I don't think it's a good fit for you. I don't think this is something you should work on. And so I just told him like, yeah, I know that this is not something you'd want. I know that, you're interested in other things. Like I know this isn't the thing. And Ben was like, no, I need to be a part of this. And so I got Ben to join by telling him that it wasn't a good fit, with all intentions of trying to get him to join.